Hey y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Simone, and we got to get into this most recent episode of Married to Medicine. They done pissed me off, and I got to get this off my chest. Something I like to do is watch the episode and then I wait for the post-episode fallout to happen. I see what all kind of carrying on they gonna do on the internet, who lying on who telling who business, who having what conversations to expound on a scene after the fact. And I'm real glad I did that this week because Simone about pissed me off. Simone, I have you ready to cry, scream, curse, carry on, and fight on her behalf, especially about them damn churning that husband, only for her to turn around and give him every damn thing. And see, this is exactly why I say I don't be more mad for people than they are for their damn selves. But let's just get into it. Before we do, y'all, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Of course, I got to shout out my super thanks. Shout out to Hello, My Beautiful Soul, and to Christia Wright. Thank y'all. So this week's episode opens up with Contessa going to walk through some venue where she's going to have her 49th birthday party, and Toya is going to meet her there to see the venue. Now, you know, Contessa is the personification of money cannot unlame you. Because when I tell you, she just irritates the dog shit out of me. I mean, from the very beginning of the episode, she walking down the damn street and some sequin jumpsuit with some white platforms and a clown afro wig on, looking a damn fool. Contessa saying she wants to have a 70s players ball themed birthday party because she's a 70s baby. It's her last birthday in her 40s. And ain't nothing wrong wanting to have a theme party, a 70s party, even a players ball party, but this is a play it yourself party. Now, Contessa starts out letting it be known that this is the first birthday party that she has ever had. She said she was waiting on somebody else, i.e. her husband, to throw her a party, but that never happened. So she decided that she's going to throw one for herself. She also let it be known that her budget for her party is around $40,000. She said she would have liked to have kept it under $40,000, but hey, you only live once and it's her first birthday party, so she gonna spend it. Toya said $40,000. What do you mean? Contessa said, what, is that not enough? Is that too small? Toya said, no, that's too damn much. Now, when Toya is telling you spending too much damn money, something wrong. Toya says she need to take that damn $40,000 and take it down to that damn office building that ain't finished so Eugene can rent whatever room he gonna rent so he can make some more money for their next damn house. But we leave them to their party planning and we go to Quad's house where she and King are hanging out, and I think Quad is missing some red flags. So at Quad's house, King is sitting in the kitchen eating him some lunch or something, look like a plate of red rice, some piece of fish, so I don't know where he got it from. Anyway, Quad said, well, I mean, as long as you ain't eating my food. He said, I don't want to eat your food anyway. And she hugs him and says, but you eat my food all the time. And she goes to walk off and she said, what do you have to say about that? He said, absolutely nothing. She's, looking back at him and trying to smile and laugh and be coy, and he is coming off almost annoyed. She said, well, why? Because, I mean, you do eat my food all the time. And he kind of shrugged his shoulders. And at that point, they cut the sound on that scene and we hear her speaking from the confessional. But it almost gives, the way that they interact, it gives performing a relationship. Not just that we're in a relationship and y'all get to witness us experience each other, but it's like we're performing this relationship. And that's what I mean when I say Quad does this thing where it's almost like she wants to prove how desired she is by this man and how in love she is and how happy they are. And it gives, we ain't that in love and we ain't that happy because we have to perform it. And she's saying in the confessional how, he eats her leftovers all the time, and don't just assume because the food is there that it's for the taking. He says in the scene when they're in the kitchen talking about it, he said something about, I don't want to have a whole hour conversation about food. And she said, well, I mean, you're the one who was talking about it. You brought it up. And in the confessional, he was saying, I guess when she's saying, don't assume you can just eat my food, he said, well, how about this? I have a healthy appetite. You want it 15 times a day, feed me. Nigga, who, excuse me? And Quad just skidded and grinning like this shit is cute. That nigga's coming up out his bag. Check him. Back in the kitchen in the scene, they're talking, and he tells her she needs to go take her shot because her hormones are doing this. Basically, you giving crazy and you need to get the fuck up out my face. So Quad asked him, well, does my shot cause me to have mood swings like rage? He said, yes. She said, no, not rage. She said, now I do find myself crying a lot. And in the confessional, they're explaining that the shot that they're referring to is her IVF treatment. because they're trying to have a baby. And she said in the confessional that they have a friend that I think had a set of triplets at 46. And she asked her, well, where's your doctor? They told her that doctor is in Ghana. And Quad decided that's where she needs to be because she's going to do everything in her power to give her damn boyfriend a baby. And in the scene, Quad is saying to King, you know, I really appreciate you embracing this and your understanding. And it was in this moment that I said, this is exactly why this man acts like this. Because there's nothing wrong with showing love and affection and appreciation to your partner. There is absolutely nothing wrong with reciprocating the energy that they pour into you. But Quad damn near gives kissing his ass. It gives he's the prize. I don't listen. Everybody is special, but I'm the damn prize. Now that makes you a winner. You're a winner. I'm not fucking with a loser, but bitch, I'm not gonna kiss your ass because I'm so happy to have a man. And I really think this is rooted in where I think this came from was overcompensation to prove a point to Dr. G. I think all of this kissing his ass and saying how great a man he is, and I'm just so happy that you're here and I appreciate you going through this with me and your understanding. All of that is rooted in, first of all, combating the image that was created of her in the first few seasons, where she's been painted as this bad wife, as this wife who wasn't nice to her husband. She didn't treat him well. She never wanted to sleep with her husband. Like, you're part of the reason the marriage fell apart. While we saw the man is out his natural damn mind, even with another woman. He just ain't got good sense. She was still stuck with that scarlet letter. So I think part of this whole putting King on a pedestal and treating him like the peacock with the biggest, baddest feathers is about, first of all, proving that I am a good woman, that I do know how to behave in a relationship, and it's to stick it to that man to say, I didn't give you this version of me because you weren't this kind of man. So I'm going to show you what you could have gotten out of me if you had treated me like you had some damn sense. But she had overcorrected and overcompensated, and now you done gone too far. And this man think he can play with you. She's speaking to him like he's some donor doing her a favor, when this is supposed to be your life partner planning a family with you. This is supposed to be a mutual effort. What do you mean? I appreciate you going through this with me and being so understanding. Nigga, do you want a baby? And they're sitting in the confessional and she's saying how they've already done 2 egg retrievals. This man spoke up to say, I spent my whole life trying to dodge this bullet. She said, it's not a bullet, it's a blessing. No, it's a warning. It's a red flag. And you're treating the motherfucker like Six Flags. This ain't no damn amusement park. The motherfucker is showing you who he is. I don't know what has transpired in their relationship that he has gotten this comfortable to come up out his bag and basically say, this is just harassing me about a baby. But he couldn't have said that bullshit to me. He couldn't have called himself joking with me about not wanting a baby and dodging a bullet. You gonna call my damn baby a bullet? He wouldn't play with me. I'll tell them damn people, y'all can unplug the freezer. I don't know what the hell y'all gonna do with them eggs y'all got, but he ain't gonna scramble them motherfuckers. And I truly think this is a result of this man thinking that he's the prize, that she's so happy to have me, especially as compared to her ex. Yeah, she gonna kiss my ass. And when she said it's a blessing, he said, well, this blessing in disguise. And they cut back to them in the kitchen. And I guess they're talking about their final number of eggs they want to retrieve. And she said, what do you want to do, about 4? And he said, I think maybe 6. So I don't ever have to go through this again. And I'm going to tell y'all, it's something about this episode that I don't know if everybody's spirit man is just sitting on the surface, but you can look in these people's eyes in this episode and really see the shit that's going on with them. If you look at that man's eyes in this scene, the way he's almost glaring at her, it gives, I really don't like you on the low. You just got what I need right now, and that's popularity in a public platform. You have influence, you have access to the world, and I'm a businessman who wants to market my business to the world. That's why I've given you a car that came from my business, but I have yet to figure out how to put you in a house. I can buy you a Rolls Royce, but we're going to go up and down and back and forth around the corner about where we're going to live. Now, I was happy to give you that car. I was happy to give you what I wanted you to have that would serve me. I was happy to provide something that was to my benefit. But when it comes to your happiness, when it comes to a long-term relationship, all that buying houses and having babies, that's too much. That's too permanent. That's what he's giving. I'm so sorry. So when he said that he don't want to keep having to go through this, Quad said, well, I don't want to go through it either. I'm the one who has to actually take the shots because he's the one acting like his hormones are out of whack. She said, you think I want to be sticking myself over and over? I'm dreading going back there now. She said, how about you stay out here and finish your food and I'm going to go back there and take my shot. He said, yeah, go take your shot so I can get ready for this next 24 hours of hell. He'd have had to get the fuck up out my house. I'm so sorry. He'd have had to go. You can go wherever the fuck you stay at. You can go wherever the fuck you lay at. But you cannot stay here. I don't know if my hormones is out of whack, but he pissed me off. And Quad standing there looking at him like she damn near confused. Like, why is you talking to me like that? Let me tell you something I had to learn. When I got back into dating, so to speak, and I use that very loosely because it's a wild jungle out this motherfucker. But I had this thing where, I'm very polite, I'm very kind, and you always want to put your best foot forward, and you want to be polite and kind when you're meeting people. But I learned that people take kindness for weakness, and they will think they can handle you all kinds of ways, and you're going to always default to this politeness. And something I had to do was start coming up out my bag. Yeah, I had to let them know, baby, I got to switch too. You hit this motherfucker, it's going off. Sometimes you got to be okay with this might be the last time we kick it because I got some shit I got to tell you. Do you know how many times I done cursed men out for absolute filth? I mean, cursed them motherfuckers out for more than they were worth. When I tell you I done cursed a man out so bad, I just knew we were done. I just knew this the last time I'm gonna ever speak to you, so I'm gonna get it all off because I am cursing you out from the depths of my soul with the power of the ancestors. When I tell you that man called me the next day and said, hey, when you curse people out like that, I know that work up an appetite. Come on, let me take you get something to eat. Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm telling you. Stop being scared to check these niggas. Don't let no man be running over you so you can prove I'm a nice, sweet lady. So now she goes off to take her shot, and what the hell does he do but follow her to the damn bathroom? And she's saying in the confessional how having to prick yourself every day, multiple times a day, it becomes exhausting and it's not something she wants to deal with, but she's willing to do that and deal with whatever comes with this process if the end result is she gets to be a mother. So she said the sacrifice is worth it, and I guess part of the sacrifice is him getting on her motherfucking nerves. Well, he follows her to the bathroom. She's about to take her shot, and big bad Quad is scared of a little needle. She said, it's not that I'm scared of a needle, I just don't want nobody else poking me. Like, I told him, you know what? Have your money ready, because the next time we go to the doctor, we're going to ask them to give us double. And you going to poke yourself when I poke yourself. You might grow some titties or something, but we going to see how you like sticking yourself every goddamn day. Don't piss me off. They ended the scene with Quad taking her IVF shot, her asking Kane to go brush his teeth because he had just ate this fish and rice and his mouth smells like fish, and they're play wrestling and fighting on the bed, and Quad is doing that overly dramatic laughing and pretending that she's so happy, and baby, we could tell you acting. And I ain't saying she ain't happy for real. I'm not saying she don't love that man for real, and I'm not saying he don't love her, but we could see the deficits, and we could see why you are overperforming, why you are going out of your way to appear so happy, because this is some negging bullshit. But anyway, that's her and her man. If she like it, I love it. Moving on. We move on and we go to Contessa's party. I guess it's the day of the party. She's going to the party. The planners are setting everything up. Brandi meets her there. And in the confessional, Contessa's carrying on about how she wishes Scott would at least offer to help. I mean, offer a helping hand. Can I lift some stuff? Can I move some stuff? You need a couple dollars on it. I mean, anything. And this is what pisses me off, is in the same breath that they will identify an issue with their marriage, they will make an excuse for that issue in their marriage. She's saying he's offering her no help, and she wishes that he would offer help, but then turns around and says, but it just doesn't connect for him that way. And they cut to a scene of her 3 days before that telling him, I need help, like straight up like that in English, I need help. And the man said, well, I thought you said you was going to pick up the ice cream and I thought you said you had it. Motherfucker. No, it's not that it doesn't connect for him. He knows that you gonna make an excuse for him not doing a motherfucking thing. You're gonna make an excuse for it. You're gonna cover up for him. You're gonna fight for a united front. You're gonna curse everybody out when they call him out on his bullshit. He don't have to do it. You're gonna do all the heavy lifting. It's not that it doesn't connect. He knows that he ain't gonna do shit. And he's doing that intentionally. Does not connect for you. That's another thing I had to learn. That sometimes when I'm identifying the issues in other people, me making excuses for their issues is the issue that exists in me. That's what I need to focus on. Why am I allowing a person to not only get away with the bullshit they're doing, but I am helping them. I'm aiding and abetting them and getting away with the bullshit and getting over on me. And when she was in the confessional by herself, she was feeling a little free. She said, Scott is a smart guy, but he's book smart. He has no common sense. And then she said, I'm just joking. No, you're not. No, you're not. And you need to tell him that straight the fuck up. I don't care if it bruises his ego. The same way that he does not care that you feel empty and you don't feel loved and you don't feel reciprocity from him. The same way he don't give a fuck. I wouldn't give a fuck how your ego feels when I tell you that you ain't shit for a husband. And then in the actual scene, Contessa is telling Brandi, she said, can I offer you one piece of advice? Brandi said, sure. She said, how long have you been married? Brandi said, 10 years. Contessa said, don't ever tell your husband, oh, you don't have to do this, or if they offer to do something, oh, no, I got it. You don't have to do that, or oh, that's too much. Because what happens is basically you create this complacent monster who feels like they never have to do anything for you and you always have it. Now, I don't know if Brandi just got good sense or if they edited the scene this way, but Brandi didn't tell her nothing about her damn marriage. Brandi is standing there looking at her, just kind of shooting the shit and having this conversation like, baby, that problem is unique to you. Brandi said, oh, girl, well, I'm going to talk to Scott and I'm going to tell Scott he got to get together. So we move on to the actual party. Everybody is arriving. They all got on their costumes, everybody except Damon. Damon said he don't play that shit. Heavenly said she didn't think to pick the man up an outfit and he ain't gonna pick one up for himself. She said she figured he pimp enough for her. He ain't need all them damn pimp costumes and shit. And Damon said no need to waste your money on him because I wasn't wearing that bullshit. But everybody else looked real cute and festive. Thank you, Damon. Everybody around taking pictures. Curtis acting like he don't want to touch nobody because he don't want no new allegations. Toya telling all Contessa business about how much money she spent on the party. She said, I talked to Contessa. Y'all know how much this party was? They said, no, how much was it? She said 40 grand. Simone said, well, it is her first party. Toya said, why does everybody keep saying that? Just because it's your first party don't mean you need to spend all your money on it. And Toya is in the confessional about $40,000. Where? Where is it? What did she spend it on now, Toya? I know you ain't one to talk, but you done had all them damn over-the-top parties, done had half the jungle and the Arabian desert in your damn backyard. You just now learning to count your damn money, and now you want to be everybody else's damn financial advisor. Sit down. Toya said, if my children were on the brink of graduation, they get ready to get out of high school and go to college and get into adult life, I wouldn't be spending $40,000 on a party for myself. Simone said, well, yeah, when my kids graduated, I spent all of $5,000 on a party for them. We wasn't doing all that extra bullshit. And in the confessional, she said that's the most she's ever spent on a party, which leads me to believe, this ain't got nothing to do with nothing, but that Whitnick party, that had to be more than $5,000, I would think. That leads me to believe that production is paying for these damn parties. Is these not y'all events? But she was saying that she didn't spend all that damn money because she didn't need all that bullshit. She said we didn't need professional photographers, stepping repeats and balloons and all kind of shit. But we gonna get into later why she ain't spent all that damn money. They spent that money somewhere else, that's why. But Brandi did agree with Toya. She said when I talked to Contessa and she told me how much she spent, I said, girl, you could have had you a little wedding, right? Toya said, well, my wedding was $75,000, so she absolutely could have had a wedding. Dr. Mimi said, your wedding was $75,000 in what year, Toya? Because this you we talking about. So we finally see Contessa and Scott arriving to the party with all of their children, and they have a beautiful family. That's the one good thing I got to say about them. They have some beautiful kids. Well, they arrived, and the first thing Contessa told Scott is, don't you be trying to take credit for shit, because you didn't help with nothing with this damn party. And he's in the confessional talking about, well, she's the kind of player that knows what she wants, so I let her plan it herself, because anything I did, she would have rejected anyway. Well, do it and let her reject it. Oh, Lord, when I tell y'all, it irritates something deep in my soul. I cannot stand a sorry-ass man. Now, they're walking through the party, and in the confessional, Contessa is saying how this is the party of her dreams, and Scott is saying how it's the budget of his nightmares. He's saying, I could have cut the food budget in half and some other budget in half. Contessa said, yeah, and it would have been in our damn backyard. She said, maybe the best thing for you to do was to stay out of my damn way. And at the actual party, the ladies are walking up to Scott, and they kind of messing with him about, oh, you did a good job planning this party, and we love the parties that the men plan, and yada, yada, yada. So he's in the confessional about, do y'all think I care about what these heckling hens have to say about me not throwing a party for my wife? And Contessa sitting there just laughing, showing every damn tooth in her mouth. Your wife is the main heckling hen, telling people about you not planning a damn party for her. And then she goes out and she does all this complaining about him and makes everybody else the villain when they repeat the shit that she says. Now, in the party, everybody mingling and having their conversations. And I don't know how Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Jackie end up over there and Dr. Mimi and Nurse Angel's face. And they are comparing the generations. And Heavenly is saying some shit about the women who grew up in the 70s. We got it better than y'all women who came after us. Because see, you young girls, y'all don't know how to keep no man. It's a reason the women from my generation can keep a man and y'all can't. Yeah, and it's called putting up with a bunch of bullshit. You can't even use your regular voice around your husband. You can't talk loud. You can't raise your voice. You can't be yourself around your husband. But you want to tell the peoples who have the freedom to be anything they want to be with anybody they want to be it with that they can't keep no man because you suffer to keep yours? And even in the confessional, Dr. Jackie said, now you know, Heavenly ain't cooking no every damn meal for Damon. She ain't bringing Damon his slippers. All that bunch of daddy. All that is bullshit. And it is. It's some performative bullshit where I don't know what goes on behind their closed doors. I don't know if they're in there whooping each other ass, but they have decided that they're going to keep a united front, and she's going to be the good Stepford wife who curses everybody else out except him. And he going to be the good soft-spoken husband who don't talk too much, so don't nobody find out about his indiscretions. So then we see the guys over in their corner, and they're mingling and talking and catching up, and Eugene is saying how he works at 5 different hospitals currently, and all of them are at least 2 hours away. And every time he goes to work at a hospital, the first thing they say after his first day is, can you stay here? Can you be a doctor here full time? Well, I'm trying to understand that if he's so excellent of a doctor and he is so sought after, why is he having to travel to Egypt to be a doctor? You are in Atlanta, of all places. Why can't he thrive in Atlanta? And when Eugene said, oh, all the nurses are always asking, can you stay? Can you stay? Curtis know a dog when he hear one barking. Curtis says, so it's just the nurses that's so enthralled with you? It's just the nurses that want you to stay? Because what the patient's saying? So now all the men calling bullshit. They say, yeah, we want to see these nurses. Toya said she want to see them too. She in the confessional interrogating that motherfucker because she don't give a damn where they at. She said, I want to know about them damn nurses. He said, well, some of the nurses are male for your information. She said, yeah, like who? He said one named Paul. She said, so Paul be around there by Eugene. You coming back, Big Gene? And he over there like, yes, he did. He's a cool guy. Actually, Curtis knows him. Go ask Curtis. Yeah, I bet. So at the party, Scott goes on the stage to, I guess, give a happy birthday speech to Contessa. And he's talking about how she did so much to kick this party off. Toya says so much. She did every damn thing. Now, on the end of his speech, he goes to say how when he and Contessa started dating and his mom met Contessa, his mom said something about Contessa reminds him of Rose from the Titanic. Like she's the type that'll jump back on the boat for you and all this bullshit. She should have been like Rose in the respect that she should have let your ass hang off the side of that door and freeze in that goddamn water because you a jackass of a husband to have. I just can't. Now at the party, all of the ladies are outside. They're sitting around, gathered together, talking about the party, and everybody's asking Contessa if she enjoyed the party. Angel asked her if she's happy with the party that she threw herself, or does she feel any kind of way about her husband not throwing it? Would you have preferred that your husband throw it? Contessa gave this speech about how this was her last year in her 40s and she didn't want to leave this first half of her life with any regrets. And she had a vision in her head, and if she had let anybody else execute it, it probably would not have turned out the way that she wanted it. So she is happy that she threw the party herself, but that ain't gonna stop her from complaining about her husband didn't throw no damn party. She said, like, for example, what if I had let him plan the party and it turned out completely different? She said, I knew that I wanted it to be someplace that people could have drinks and have food and have a good time. Toya said, okay, so why not just communicate that to him and allow him to execute that? She said, I told him and he knows me. I've been waiting, but it's been 20 years. 20 years? You mean to tell me you've been asking this man for a birthday party for 20 motherfucking years and you just finally had to throw one for your damn self 20 years later? Ain't no way. Simone said, well, don't y'all believe that we teach the men how to treat us and how to be in relationship with us from the very beginning? And if the bar of expectation is low, it's easy for them to jump over and they're not going to raise that bar. She said, we have to be the ones to move the bar. And she went on to explain how on her very first Mother's Day, Cecil didn't even show up with a card for her. And that would have been the last child we had. It wouldn't have been no Michael for me to be arguing with at the table about my goddamn credit card and what car lot we going on. And Contessa interrupts the conversation to say, why are we reevaluating our marriages after this amazing party? Toya said, no, reevaluating our marriages is a major thing that's very important to do. Contessa said, well, he knows me and he knows that I handle shit, and that's probably what he was waiting on and what he expected, and that's what happened. I handled shit. Quad said in the confessional, that lady got to go home and live with that man. She got to lay in the same bed with that man. That's why she up here taking up for that man, because she don't want that smoke. But the problem is, Contessa complains to anybody who will listen in front of a motherfucking camera, and then will turn around and gaslight you. Like, she never said that. Like, why are you guys acting this way? Why are you all so upset? Why are we talking about our marriages? She said, I had a great party. I was very happy. And Heavenly said in the confessional, I done learned my damn lesson with Contessa. She said, I keep my mouth off her marriage because she gonna tell you all this shit. And as soon as you say something, she ready to fight you. So I don't have nothing to say because I'm trying to run for this damn office. Y'all vote for me. And Contessa said to the ladies, look at how sexist y'all are, because even in the middle of the party that I threw for my goddamn self, y'all are talking to me about my husband. Ma'am, you talk to any motherfucking body who would listen, including us in that motherfucking confessional about your goddamn husband. And now everybody else is sexist and male-centered for not honoring you as this great heroine who could throw her own party. Girl, go to hell. She's in the confessional saying y'all are sitting in the best party you've ever attended and you're asking me why Scott didn't do it. Contessa's a dangerous motherfucker. And what it is she wants to play this martyr game. She wants to present herself to everybody as this martyr in her marriage so that she can get this empathy and sympathy and everybody will love her and she will get the attention from the others that she does not get from her husband. But because she knows Scott is a fire-breathing dragon who is going to unleash on her soon as they get in that damn house, she tells everybody how she feels, and then she'll turn around and, why are you guys saying that? And I didn't say that. And I don't have a problem with my husband. I love my husband. He's great. She carrying on about y'all sitting in this party talking to me about my husband. Y'all won't even make it about me and tell me happy birthday. It's all about my husband. You made it about your husband. Because your husband makes everything about himself and you don't know how to correct it in your marriage. So you go telling everybody else how you feel. You make it all about your husband. And then when people actually acknowledge the shit that you're saying, maybe it's because you're not used to having your complaints acknowledged. But when people actually acknowledge your complaints and they speak to them or they question you about them, all of a sudden they become the villain that's victimizing you with your truth. And in the very same episode, she's saying how I didn't need any help because I'm the best event planner. Then what are you crying to us for? Shut the entire fuck up. So we move on and we go to Dr. Simone and Cecil's home where they're going to be having dinner with their boys. And the first thing we see in the scene is Simone and Cecil driving there and they're talking about thank you cards for these boys' graduation. And then they cut to the boys at the house preparing the plates of food. where they are taking whatever food they have either made or ordered and put it in this damn aluminum baking pan, the ones you buy like from the grocery store and stuff. The boy got the food in the pan with the damn paper still in the pan. Didn't take the paper out. The glue, the paper is in there with. Didn't wash the dust out the pan or nothing. Just poured the damn food into the dirty pan straight out the damn grocery store. And these the boys you want to release to the world? And I was shocked to realize when I looked at the screen, the baby 26. The baby 26 and don't know to take the paper out the bottom of the pan. And Simone and Cecil, I blame y'all. So apparently they're sitting down to have a family discussion post-graduation. Both of the boys have graduated college. And now it's time for them to map out and plan out their lives. But apparently Michael, Simone and Cecil's youngest son, his life plan is his mom and daddy money. So Simone is sitting at the table talking to her son Michael while Cecil and their son Miles are in the kitchen warming up their food that just came out that pan that still got the paper in it. Well, Simone asked her son, Michael, how does it feel to have one less thing that you have on your checklist because you now graduated college? And he said, doesn't feel like anything. And listen, I try to not run these people's kids down when I do these reviews because I recognize that while they are TV personalities, they're still real people. And these are still their children. And I'm sure that they feel a way about having their children critiqued. And I'm sure that the children feel a way about it because they didn't sign up to be on a TV show. My mom and them decided to be on this shit. Now, I had no control over that. I just was in their house. And so I had to be there too. But there are some things, there are some moments, there are some times when I just cannot in good conscience overlook certain things. In this scene, if you pay attention to Michael's eyes, there's something in Michael's eyes that something unstable. And when I watched the scene, we don't get into the whole fight and the breakdown, it clicked to me that this is Simone's son. That same dysregulation, that same screaming temper that's out of control, cannot manage your own emotions individual that Simone is, that's in her son. It was something about his eyes when he was saying it feels like nothing. Like his eyes are damn near bugged out of his head. He looked a little crazy. I'm just sorry. He looked a little crazy. But in this moment, this is when he starts the conversation about wanting a new vehicle. He says something about, I guess he got this Jeep in high school, and he said, you know, the Jeep was cool when I first got it, but it's not so cool anymore, and I know you're tired of seeing it. I'm tired of seeing it. And Simone is, yes, I am tired. Simone said, but what we do have to look at is your financial situation to see if you can afford to make any payments. And she gets up from the table and says, I did some numbers for you. I put some figures together for you. Hold on, let me get my iPad. This boy said, well, you can go get the iPad, but make sure that whatever you get ready to show me on the iPad is not going to upset me and cause me to take your plate of food and feed it to the dog. Nick go, what? Simone busted out laughing by, yeah, it might. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about why, before we even get into the scene, why that shit is not cute. Because if you are comfortable enough to tell your mama whose money you want, that if you go get that iPad and show me some shit about me spending your money that upsets my nerve, I'm going to feed your food to the dog and I dare you to do something about it. If you will talk to your mother that way, if you will handle your mother that way, a girlfriend don't stand a chance. A wife is lost in hell. Simone said ever since she found out her kids were graduating from college, all she could think about is moving forward financially. And she pulls out the iPad and said she wanted to start by going over their Chase account and the amount of money that had been spent from this Chase credit card. She said, I want to go over it month by month. As soon as she says January, Miles, the oldest brother, jumped in. He said, now, Mama, I don't think we want to do this. Y'all might not want to really start punching in numbers and stuff because I don't know if you got enough space on your calculator screen for all that. And when they started carrying on about, we don't have to discuss that, she said, well, why? This is just factual information that we need to be able to make a decision about how to move forward in terms of you want vehicles and all kind of shit. And in the confessional, she went on to say that Michael has spent $60,000 on that Chase account alone by himself. Now, I don't know that it was in a month or if that was the total for the year. I don't know what that is. Either way, even if it is for a year, there are people who don't make $60,000 in a year. Simone said, if I were you and I wanted a car, I wouldn't be arguing with the person who I was asking to buy the car. And in the confessional, Simone is saying this discussion does need to be had so that he can understand the value of money, the value of a dollar, and the value of just swiping a credit card. But here's the thing, Simone, is too late. Quite honestly, it's too late. That is the kind of stuff you teach children when they are toddlers. Like before they hit adolescence, you have to put that in them early. But when you got damn near 30-year-old men whose lives you have sponsored, and listen, I don't have a problem with giving to your children. I don't have a problem with that. I'm one of them black people who believes in generational wealth. I believe in passing down to your children and not having your kids get it out the mud just because. I don't believe in that shit. So I don't have a problem with, that they have given their boys this, I guess, cushy kind of a life because they can. But it's one thing to give them a great life. But the problem is there is no balance in teaching them how to make a great life other than just spend my money. And Cecil just be sitting there looking at her out the corner of his eye like he waiting on her to say the wrong thing. I guess they just 86 that. They ain't gonna talk about the money. So Simone asked him, has he decided where he wants to go to law school, and has he figured out how he plans on financing law school? This boy said, I do have a mother who makes pretty good money. His daddy's sitting at the damn table too. His daddy is sitting at the table on mute while this motherfucker look at his mama about, well, I do have a mama that does pretty well for her. This is the kind of man who will go marry a woman and expect that woman to do everything that his mother did for him. She has raised a monster, and I don't think she realizes it. Simone said, well, I don't feel like I should be footing the bill for anything other than the roof over your head or that type of expense. And that is very generous. That's very generous because you have these parents who they did what they were supposed to do. And I give them all the respect for being the black people who went to college and got these careers and built a better life and gave their children a better life. I absolutely respect that. I appreciate that. But it's almost like they have done them a disservice. They have created these complacent, incompetent males, because I can't even call them men. I guess I'm blown away that they're damn near 30. They're still paying every living expense that they have. They paid for their undergrad. They paid for them to go to school. You're paying for the home that they live in. You're providing them a credit card for all of their expenses. You buying them a car anytime you get ready. I'm trying to figure out what expense has been missed that you need more money. Or you won't go get you a loan or a job and go pay for law school. It's not like Simone and Cecil have said, okay, because let me tell you, this is the bullshit that irritates me. When kids turn 18 and they treat them like unwanted guests and tell them, oh, well, you're grown now. You better go out there in the world and figure it out. It's not like they did them like that. They didn't throw their kids to the wolves. They didn't say, oh, well, we did our time and time is up. They gave you everything they could, every advantage they could give you. And this is the thanks they get is, bitch, buy me another car. And when I want to go to school for some more shit, even though I ain't did shit with the degree I already got, when I want to go to school for some more shit, I'm not going to ask my parents to pay for it. I'm going to ask my mama. This is some disrespectful shit. They don't have respect for women. I don't know what has gone on in Simone's home all these years, but that boy is demonstrating that they have no respect for women in that house. So I don't know what Cecil was getting at or what point he was trying to make, but Cecil starts speaking up to say something about when you start talking about law school or graduate school and what it takes to go to graduate school, and if you don't have any support in doing that, Simone interrupted him and said, the only person at this table that has a doctorate graduate level degree is me. She said, and how I did it was I got scholarship money and loans. This boy looked across the table at her and said, your mom wasn't able to do for you what you're able to do for us. And this is what they mean when they say ease is the enemy of progress. Because what drove Simone was that I didn't have those resources available. Is that I knew I wanted a better life and I knew it was attainable. And she was driven to this life. Her sons, on the other hand, feel entitled to this life. They have made it so easy that they have no desire, they have no drive, they have no hunger, so there will be no progress. This boy looked at his mama and said, what about all the rich white kids? Their parents pay for everything. They pay for them to go to college, and then they get out of college debt-free and they become millionaires. Simone said, well, what about all the white people who pay for their kids to go to school and then they turn around and they do nothing? That wasn't even the appropriate response. The appropriate response was, you ain't no motherfucking rich white kid. How about that? Because these are conversations that need to be had. I remember I had to have a conversation with a family member of mine who was upset about something in their career, and they were planning on making this rash kind of a move. And it was a move that they had seen white counterparts make. And I had to remind them that one of the tenets of their education at the HBCU that they graduated from is that entering into corporate America as a black person, you will have to run faster, jump higher, be better, even when you are the absolute best. Even when there's nobody who can compete with you, they can't stand up next to you, you still have to run faster, jump higher, and be better. This is where you remind him that you are a black man in America. You don't sit your ass in my face when you ain't done nothing with your life, ain't got a plan for your life, and tell me what I owe you money for because you want to be a rich white kid. You done lost your motherfucking mind. He done had to meet his black ass mama that day. And your parents gave you exactly what you're asking for. They have given you a life where everything is provided to you. Every opportunity is made available for you, and it's financed for you. And you don't have the drive to go get nothing? When Simone asked the question about what about all the white kids who do have everything provided to them and they still ain't doing shit, Cecil over there shaking his head and said, well, Michael's point is still a valid one. We are blessed and we are able to help our children. And Cecil has since taken to the internet because everybody is on his ass about how he has raised his sons to be entitled to their mother's earnings. And he's sitting up there about we blessed and we can help them and we can do more than the average can for them. Well, you do it. Since you feel so inclined to help your sons, because those are your boys to raise to men. So you help your sons. You spend your money because your son sat up in his mother's face and you watched him say to his mother that my mother earns enough money to sponsor my life. And you said nothing to correct him. You didn't think that was a problem. You didn't tell him your mama don't owe you that. You didn't say, well, son, you got to go out and catch your own fish at some point. So since you feel so inclined to help and you feel so inclined to come down to the internet and tell us you ain't broke, and just because you don't spend your money on designers and fast cars and clothes and shoes and all this shit, don't think y'all know what I got in my account. Well, we ain't got to know what you got in your account. You take your boys to the bank. You let them know what you got in your account and you go spend it on them. When Simone realizes that Cecil is not on her team, she said, who at this table really gives a fuck about how hard I'm working instead of being able to move toward retirement? And Michael spoke up and said, me. Miles dropped his head like, God damn, why would you say, shut your ass up? So Cecil jumps in for the alley-oop about, well, Michael says that he thinks every day about how he can give back to you. Simone said that's real nice that he thinks about it every day, but what if my ass is dead before he can do anything for me or himself? This man said, well, that might happen. That's a possibility because God could take you away. Michael said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done with this conversation. Be done, motherfucker. Simone said, I don't care. Be done. And in the confessional, she said, I'm really tired of being the lone man out. She said it's always 3 against 1. And at the table, she and Cecil start arguing. She said, you don't even jump in. You can't speak for me because you don't think like me. You don't support me. He said, well, where did that come from? She said, from my heart. It came from my damn heart. Everybody jumping up from the table, man. The cameraman just sitting in the corner. I don't know if he confused or entertained. Simone looked at her son and said, the bottom line is you are so motherfucking entitled. That's what this revealed to me. Now I'm done. And the scene ended with Simone walking off screaming, I'm done. I don't owe you a motherfucking thing from here. I've given you all I have to give. Now, if I had come down here on Monday, I'd have been down here ripping that boy to shreds. But I got my ass on that damn internet come Monday. And what did I see but clips of lives of Simone and Cecil and her sons? And they laughing and talking and carrying on. And she on Watch What Happens Live, laughing and talking and carrying on. And Heavenly doing interviews with Carlos, talking about them laughing and talking and carrying on. And the reason they is laughing and talking and carrying on like all this shit ain't happened on TV is because Simone did all that screaming and acting a fool, only to turn around and buy the boy the very car she done acted a damn fool about. He on the internet and on the TV bragging about, yeah, I don't drive that Jeep no more. I drive a Tesla now. And Simone and Cecil telling him to shut up and don't say that out loud in the public because now you're going to stir up some shit. Yeah, because you acted an unproductive fool. If you were going to turn around and buy him the car and give him everything he wants, why is you running around screaming, stressing everybody else out, running your blood pressure? Why are you doing that when you know you're going to give him everything he wants? And this is also why, speaking of, I ought to come down here and rip that damn boy to shreds and all kind of shit. This is why I have learned to, because people do shit like this. They will bring you they problematic spouse, they problematic child, they problematic friend, family member, coworker, whatever. And they want you to do the dirty work of telling them how wrong they are and having the uncomfortable conversations. And you get to be the bad guy. And then after you have done the dirty work, they go huddle back up with them and they get to be the good guy again. And, well, you know, I didn't say that stuff to you and I didn't have that conversation with you. And they literally will use you to do the dirty work. And that's what this is, where you present this whole issue to the public and you scream and cry and fall out and carry on, only to go back in private and be giving him everything you screamed and cried and carried on about. And then you want to leave it to the public to say how problematic and entitled he is. Well, I'm so sorry. If you like it, I love it. I'll be damned if I'm going to be down here more upset than you about your money that you are happy to give away. So we leave from that tragic dinner and we're headed to whatever the next scene is. But y'all know how on the way to the next scene, they show us clips of what's going on in different people's houses. And we see Dr. Mimi home with her husband, Steve. He trying to get him a little piece and she trying to give him excuses. We go to Quad House. Her and King is in their home gym working out. And this nigga said to her, oh, you over there trying to unbig that back, bitch. What? Quad said, you trying to say my back big? He said, no, it ain't big, just wide. Quad said, I am slim in the waist and cute in the face. He said, yeah, with a big back too. And she laughing, and I know it's supposed to be, oh, we just crack jokes, and it's supposed to humble you. So you don't think you all that, and you'll be more inclined to give him some. You'll reconsider the differences and the deficits between y'all and whether he actually qualifies for a piece of your pie. The shit ain't cute. Anyway, where we was headed to was a restaurant for Brandi's birthday dinner. Apparently, Brandi's birthday is right behind Contessa's, and the ladies are getting together to celebrate her birthday. So Simone and Heavenly get there first, and Simone is drinking her troubles and pouring them out to Heavenly. She is telling her about that damn family dinner that has exploded all over the place and how her son is upset about her not paying for law school. Heavenly said, I don't think you should pay for it. And Heavenly went on to say in her interview with Carlos, I saw clips of, she said she, of course, like all parents, has had some issues with raising her children. She said, but her sons ain't gonna talk to her the way that Simone's sons talk to Simone. She said, that's because I ain't got no damn Cecil in my house. She said, Damon don't play that shit with my boys. Damon would have stepped in and shut that shit down immediately. And that is part of the problem, is that Cecil is just this passive, I'm just there, I'm one of the guys kind of a parent. Like, I think he's just friends with them. And Simone is the mother for everybody. So as Simone and Heavenly are catching up, Brandi arrives and she's saying how it's her birthday and she hadn't planned anything for her birthday, but her husband surprised her and said, get your girlfriends together. Y'all go ahead and pick your little spot. I'm going to send you with my card. I'm going to pay for everything. Go have a good time. Now, Heavenly showed up looking for the mess. Soon as the lady said that her husband put this together, Heavenly said, so you mean to tell me your husband had planned this for you? Your husband put this together for you, but Contessa's husband couldn't put nothing together for her. She said, so you think you might want to tone this whole event down and your explanation of how it came together? She said, hell no, because I'm not going to downplay my husband for a damn soul. So now we see all the other ladies arriving. They're going to take their seats at the table in the restaurant. Toya gets there after everybody in her glitter Versace t-shirt. I ain't gonna tell them about y'all don't feel underdressed. It's okay. Girl, sit down. Now, I'm gonna tell y'all this is the one episode where I actually like Dr. Jackie. Jackie said that damn confessional. This brand name biatch. I don't know why, but it tickled the shit out of me when she called that girl a brand name biatch. She said this brand name biatch always got something to say if you ain't wearing Fendi, Gucci, Louis, Prada. She said, girl, you better get you some Zara. I know that's right. And Zara done going up on their prices too. That might be luxury soon. Jackie says some of us professional women have more places to go than to the party. Toya said, so are you saying the women that walked in aren't professional? Jackie said, no, I'm talking about you. Toya said, well, if being professional means being you, I want to be me. Jackie said, I don't want to be you. So Brandi is in the confessional saying how we ain't even got a plate of food. Ain't nobody said happy birthday. Ain't no cupcakes on the table. And these bitches is already starting. So Toya speaks up to say, we're taking over Brandi's day. Let's get us some shots and actually have us a good time. So Heavenly, with her messy ass, because Contessa is there now, Heavenly has to announce, well, y'all know Brandi's husband is paying for this. So he said, I can get all the shots I want. And here go Toya with her bullshit about, I really like this because at Contessa's party, I just don't feel like we really got to kick it together. And Contessa said, yeah, that would be the one negative about having a big party is you don't really get to spend quality time with your guests, which is why the very next day I had brunch at my house and I texted everybody and told them that, if I didn't get to see you and hug you and talk with you, please come by the house and have some breakfast. And so Mimi spoke up and said, you cooked the day after your party? And she said, yeah, from 10 in the morning until like 9 o'clock that night. Toya said, well, where was Scott? She said they were outside smoking cigars. Yeah, because Contessa gets off on being this fucking martyr. She wants to visibly work herself down to the bone so that someone will come say, oh, you're working so hard. You deserve to be loved so well by your husband. When that lady told him that Scott was outside smoking cigars the next day while she was cooking all day long for her guests to come hang out, Toya looked absolutely disgusted. Simone looked shocked. Heavenly looked like she just been waiting on the bullshit. And Contessa said, well, I enjoy taking care of people. Toya said, yeah, and that's all well and good, but you also need somebody to take care of you sometimes. Contessa said, yes, that's true. And me throwing that party was like, a form of me taking care of me. So Brandi spoke up to say, hey, I'm going to bring it back around to me for just a second. Toya said, not for a second, for the night. So Brandi pulls out her phone and shows that her husband and her children are on FaceTime. They're saying hi to the table and she's saying thank you so much to her husband. I really appreciate you putting this together. So she's getting off the phone with her husband and she keeps saying thank you, bye, I'll see y'all later, thank you so much. And Contessa's like, why is she thanking him so much? I mean, is this like an expensive restaurant? Well, I don't expect you to know because you ain't never had your husband do nothing for you, so you don't understand. And she's so fake that after she said that in the confessional, they show her at the table in the scene saying, Brandi, this is such a great dinner party. So then Simone suggested that somebody say prayer, say grace before their food gets cold. And Brandi said, yeah, somebody pray. Contessa said, well, can we pray to God or do we have to pray to your husband to thank him for this? Bitch. Heavenly start that damn cackling like a hyena. She over there high-fiving Contessa because she done stirred up this bullshit. And Brandi looked down the table and said, you and your feelings, but it's okay. And Contessa, but we're thanking these husbands so much. We're thanking these husbands a lot. Why are we thanking these husbands so much? Because some people actually have husbands who like them. You don't know anything about that. And in the confessional, Simone is saying that Contessa is retaliating and she's feeling away because Scott has never planned anything for her. And they cut back to the scene. She's at the table we're in a strip mall. I wouldn't give a damn. Didn't you have your party in a corporate office building? If your husband had planned you a dinner in a strip mall, you'd be dancing on the table happy. Girl, shut up. Brandi spoke up and said, look here, my husband paid for this. My husband paid for everybody to come out and have a good time. I have a good man. I'm not going to downplay my man, and I'm sorry if that makes you uncomfortable, Contessa, or anybody else. Contessa speaks up and said, I think y'all the ones with the problem. Did y'all hear my husband complain one moment about the amount of money I spent? No, but we heard you. We heard you complain about your husband's absolute apathy when it comes to you, your relationship, he don't give a damn. We heard you tell us that. She said the only thing my husband didn't do was plan the party. But I'm going to be honest, if he had done this for my first birthday party, I'd have been underwhelmed. Well, baby, you don't know how you would have felt because he still ain't never gave you a birthday party. You ain't had a birthday dinner, a birthday celebration, a birthday give a damn. You don't know how you would react, because even after you threw yourself a $40,000 party after 49 years of life, your husband still ain't planned you a dinner, a brunch, a lunch, or shit else. She carrying on about, this is not a birthday party in my opinion, this is a birthday dinner. It's more than your husband has done for you. Did your husband get you a birthday card? Bitch, like, girl, she's talking about how this is no comparison. I had a party. This is a dinner. They don't compare. Nobody was comparing them. The problem is you were triggered by a woman appreciating her husband for appreciating her. And you got upset and started comparing the events. She's insane. Contessa is nuts, and she needs to be evaluated. When Contessa went to carrying on about, this doesn't even compare, this is a dinner, I had a party, Brandi said, you're right, this is a dinner, and it doesn't compare because Brandi paid zero. Brandi didn't have to come out of her pocket at all. My husband paid for this. And Contessa pulls out some little wallet coin purse about, I brought some money just in case. Girl, Toya said, oh, is that your birthday money? Put your birthday money up, baby. She is so tacky and classless. When they started telling her to put her money back, Contessa said, well, we have a joint account, so I have access. Yeah, y'all got a joint account. You still had to spend your own money and your own energy planning your own party. Girl, go to your own hell. And in the confessional, Brandi is asking, why are you throwing money on the table? Because you said at your party that you would like for somebody to do something like this for you. So, yeah, it ain't your husband, but you're welcome. You're being wined and dined by somebody's husband. See, and I'd be a dirty bitch to say this is why you don't have nice things done for you. Because this is the kind of person that you are. See, because Scott know you. Scott know you in a way that we never will. And he's acting out his dislike for you. That's what's going on. You rude and nice nasty. And on top of that, you already painted him out to be Ike Turner. So the only damn party he gonna throw you is a party where you gonna be the damn pinata. You're not a nice person to do nice things for. That's why don't nobody do nothing nice for you. You sit up at somebody else's dinner and I've been underwhelmed by this. This isn't a party. This is just dinner. We'll take your country apple as home. So Toya spoke up to say Contessa was upset. Contessa said, what was I upset about? She said about Scott not throwing you a party. And I don't know why you act like you've forgotten that. So Contessa rolls her eyes and says, me saying I'm throwing a party for myself, the question becomes, what is this paternalistic world that we're living in that a man has to throw something for me? Bitch, this ain't got nothing to do with paternalistic or the patriarchy. This has nothing to do with any of that. Contessa is manipulative and a goalpost moving bitch. I cannot deal with her. This has nothing to do with a patriarchy and the paternalistic world. This has to do with I am in a marriage with a partner that does not reciprocate to me what I pour into them. And what you're doing is because you don't want to tell the truth about your marriage. And the reason you don't want to have to tell the truth about your marriage is because you don't want to have to do shit about the truth about your marriage. You want to sit there with your head in the sand and pretend that none of this shit is going on and say stupid shit. Like, well, we've been married 20 years and maybe once we hit 30, maybe he'll start doing nice things for me. You want to bury your head in the sand and pretend that you have a good marriage and you want everybody else to go along with that bullshit. You cry and play victim and then you turn around and try to gaslight everybody and say, I never said that. I wasn't making it about him not being a good husband. I'm just saying, I make as much money as him. Why can't I throw my own party? Bitch, that was never the conversation. And you ain't smarter than no damn body where you can manipulate people out of their memory. I would stop being friends with Contessa. Contessa is the kind of bitch I would have to cut off. She's the type that will come trauma dump all over you and tell you everything that's going on, and she will be the perfect victim. And as soon as you say anything in her defense, whether it be to her husband, to somebody who could help her, you become the villain. And it's truly this game of emotional Russian roulette with her. When she asked that dumb shit, everybody is looking at her like, you cannot be this stupid and you cannot think we this stupid. And in the confessional, Heavenly said, not only does Contessa complain to her friends about her husband, then she switches her story and then will get mad at you if you remember what she told you the day before. The bitch is nuts. And Contessa's at the table screaming and growling about what kind of friends focus on the negative. Toya said, these ones, bitch. Toya said, all we're saying at the end of the day is you complain all the time about your husband. Contessa said, you complain all the time about your husband. Toya said, yeah, and it's okay, bitch. The difference is Toya don't lie and deny. Toya drags her husband to everybody who will listen and him. Toya don't come tell everybody, Eugene ain't shit, and Eugene gets on my nerve, and Eugene working all the time, and then we sitting in Eugene's face, but I love you so much, baby. You want me to put some butter on your biscuit? So yeah, she complains about her husband, but she does not turn around and try to gaslight and manipulate the entire general public. And then after Toya cursed her ass out, Contessa got up and went and gave Toya a hug. I guess that's what she needs. So after Contessa hugs Toya, Simone speaks up to ask, well, do you think that there are times that you're frustrated? And Heavenly over there, we all frustrated. They had to tell her, shut the fuck up. We ain't talking to you right now. And Contessa says, well, we've been married for 20 years. And if I spent all of my time focusing on the negatives, I'd be like a lot of my girlfriends out here single. What you mean is you'd be like a lot of your girlfriends out here happy, but carry on. She said, and maybe at 30 years, he's going to do some of those things that I've asked for. Simone said, let me help you out because see, the lights is on, but ain't no damn body at your house. Simone said, I have been married for 29 years. I'm telling you right now, he's not going to do anything. And Contessa says, so yes, I mean, yeah, it would be great sometimes if he would buy me a Rolls Royce. And she points at Quad. She said, but I like the ring better. Quad said, well, honey, it's some people sitting up in here that's still married that don't even want to be married. So Quad said, marriage ain't just all of that, okay? And in the confessional, she said, I don't know how I got in it. She said, all I do know is that I can go into my safe and see that I do have a wedding ring. I can also look into my driveway and see that I also have a Rolls Royce. But the one thing that I don't have is the husband and the headache. Kiss my ass. And the episode came to an end with Simone speaking up to say, well, Quad, who here doesn't want to be married anymore other than me? They said, now, Simone, don't you say that. Don't start that shit again. We done saved y'all one time. Simone said, you have no fucking idea. And apparently neither did Cecil. Because Cecil done got on the internet when they was doing all them lives and having them conversations and family meetings on the internet. Cecil said that watching this episode, he felt like Camille Grammer. Now, what in the bitch made? He said to the people who watch Bravo, y'all know what that means. Simone said, well, please tell me what you mean by that. And he said, well, you know how Kelsey Grammer brought Camille Grammer to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, basically to get her a job, to get her up out of his house. He was getting a divorce from her. And that's how I felt. I felt blindsided by the whole thing. Simone said, well, you can kiss my entire blindsided ass because you're not going to sit up here and act like we haven't had conversations in private off camera this year about me being unhappy in our marriage. Don't play with me. And while everybody is telling Simone, don't say that, I would just like to say, I said that. I've been saying the problem that Simone has with Quad is that Simone is unhappy with her own life and Quad is living the life that Simone dreams about. And she said earlier in this episode talking to Heavenly when they first got to this dinner that I just need a break from everybody with my last name, period. And after watching that, I understand, but I also cannot go up for Simone like I wanted to go up for Simone because for them to get on that damn internet after they done upset every black mama, auntie, older sister, every damn thing in America. For them to get on that internet and him to be bragging and throwing it in people's face about, I don't drive the Jeep anymore, I'm driving a Tesla now. If Simone like it, I love it. But that's it, that's all, and I ain't got no more. Thank y'all so very much for coming down here listening to me and letting me get this off my chest. Y'all, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you've not already. And in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, you know I love you and I mean it. Bye.